Hey, what's up? Making a TEX-Pan today. Got my Fujica GW690. This will work with all of the Fujifilm G690 series. GW, GSW, G, GL, all of them. You just need a little bit of stuff to put in your camera, modify it just slightly, non-destructive, don't worry. You can take it all apart later. So I have a Fujica GW690 panoramic adapter mask. Got some 135 to 120 adapters to put on top of a 35mm canister. For my test roll, since this is the first time I'm ever doing it, I am using Shanghai GP3 100 as my just black and white film. It's cheap, I can develop it at home, whatever. You need some silicone tape to put in your camera, which I will show you right now. You open up the back, you put it on the film roller, right here, this big red tape mark here. On the top and the bottom of this film roller, it has little cogs that catch on 120 film and backing paper to cock the shutter, advance the frame. And if those cogs are not spun, the frame will not advance and the shutter will not cock. So you can see I can do this. There's no film in there right now. I can do this as much as I want to. And no matter what, I cannot take a picture. So since 35mm only takes up the center of the frame, you need to have something to cause a little bit of friction to make the frame advance and the shutter cock. So obviously just putting this in the middle of the camera. So let's take a look at what it looks like inside of the camera. All right, so first things first, since this is not 120 film or 220 film, you're going to take this spool out and just set it aside. Which also means we need to change this right here to take 16 exposures for 220 film and change the inside backing plate to the 220 variant. Because 220 film does not have backing paper, it's a little bit thinner and skinnier than 120 film is with the backing paper. Obviously 35mm does not have backing paper, so it'll be about the same width as 120 or 220. So that's the first thing. Make sure you do that, or else, I don't know, you could have some problems. So we will open this bad boy up. You can see my silicone tape here that will move the roller as the 35mm film comes across the middle. So we can put this right in there. There it is. So we're only going to expose the center portion. The sprocket holes will be covered. You will not get that fancy effect. Though if you want that, you can just take the mask out and just do it like that. But I do not. All right, so with this, you're going to need to cut the leader off. About as square as you can get. And we need to tape this to this one. So the one that I got already has some tape on it, just because I bought this as a whole kit. So all I need to do is take this off. Oh, it's splitting up. This is not going very well. All right, so you had the leader here with some tape on it. I'm going to do my best to line these up. Put this, oh, adapter is coming off. Okay, I'll just leave that down there, whatever. Line these up as square as you can get. And carefully put the tape on there. Make sure it's flat as you can get it. Don't want any weird film getting eaten by the camera. That would kind of suck. Alright, so that's about as square as I can get it. So I'm going to kind of roll this into, I'll just pull a little bit more of that out. Get the bottom part flat. Should I get some tape down there too, maybe? There we go. About something like this. Alright, so let's put this wonky adapter back on there. This one clicked in. This one does not seem to be clicking in. And this is not very high quality film, to be honest. So we're going to try and put this in here. Close that up. All right, there we go. Seems to be in there pretty well. And I did it wrong. Cool. Okay, so we got our tape here. I have taped my film into the empty canister. And we're going to just plop it in there with the mask already in there. Just put that right here. Pull it out, lock it up. Put this one in here. As best we can. There we go. Lock this one up. All right, and then just let's see if it works. Moment of truth. Nope. All right, it's locked. All right, this would be the first frame. So instead of testing it right now and wasting a frame, because I only have about 12 shots on here, it's not the full length of a 220. So I set it to 16 just so it will count higher than 8. It's not actually 16 exposures on a roll of 36. Unless you do some funky stuff with adding some blank leader type deal or some backing paper. If you just put it in there like I did, just normally, it will give you about 12 or 13 exposures from what I've read online. I'm going to go stick this bad boy on my tripod, walk around a little bit outside, see what I can get. It's kind of dark outside, and I'm shooting this GP3 100 ISO film at 50 with a yellow filter. The yellow filter is, I think, 2/3 to 1 stop compensation, something like that. So we'll see how it looks. So we're trying again. I actually forgot to take off the lens cap for the first shot. So here's real number 1. Unfortunately, I am finding the lever a bit difficult to turn after I take a picture. I think that more has to do with Shanghai GP3 being a bit of a budget film. So I noticed when I was trying to put it into the camera, even just extending the leader a little bit so I could put it on the spool, it was difficult to pull out. And it's kind of cold outside. It's, I don't know how many degrees it is, but it's pretty chilly. So it might have to do with that as well. I don't think that's an actual problem with this kind of setup. So I'm kind of having to give up a little bit early. I've only taken about 8 pictures so far. But no matter what I do, the lever will not turn, and I do not want to break my brand new camera. So we're going home. I'm gonna put it in the dark bag and I'm gonna cut it out and attempt to develop it. Though all of my previous attempts at developing Shanghai GP3 have not been good. I've actually never successfully developed a roll of it, but I've practiced a lot since then. I've developed some new developing techniques, pun not intended. So hopefully this time will go a little bit better, and we'll see. I just decided to say whatever to the dark bag idea. I'm just going to do this in the light. I think the last frame that I took was nothing special, so just pop it open. Okay, we can see here. I believe the last frame I took would be about here, so I think at least half of it got ruined. But it looks like this is too far over. It shouldn't be all the way over like that. It should be towards the middle or right here, like feeding into it right here. I'm glad the tape works at least. This one stayed in the right spot. Maybe these adapters were in the wrong spot, or well, they feel pretty secure. So, I mean, as far as I can tell, nothing went wrong. The film is flat. I can't see any reason exactly why it would have gone wrong. The 220 back is on there. I don't know. Let's develop it and find out. I got it out, and update, that was actually the last frame. So apparently whatever information I got was wrong, because this will not come out any farther. This is as far as it goes. So that was the last frame. I only got about 9-ish frames. I guess maybe the leader was too long. Maybe I would get 12 to 13 frames if I put taped an extra leader onto the front of it. So that whenever I advance to the frame number 1 from S on the frame counter, it wouldn't waste so much film. So I'm glad I didn't try to force it, or else it might have completely ripped or somehow damaged my camera. Though this thing is a tank, so I don't think it would have damaged my camera. But I'm glad I called it quits and came back, because now I know only about 9-ish frames, 8.5, 9 frames, something like that. So let's go develop them. So update to the update, it was not the last frame. There was still this much left on there. Shanghai GP3's canisters are just the worst canisters that have ever existed. Alright, end of the updates, I hope. Let's go develop and see what they actually look like. We're going with Kodak HC110 Dilution H, which is 1 plus 63, 20 degrees Celsius for 7.5 minutes. They're developed, they're looking nice. You can see just how long this leader is though, just to get to the first frame. And then here's the first frame. I don't know about the picture itself, but they look well developed, they look even, they look nice. This is the one I took with the lens cap on, so yeah. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then here you can kind of see where the first frame, or the last frame, got cut off. That's the one I wasn't too worried about. So there, yeah, we go. Got quite a few good frames. I'm just gonna let them dry, and we'll come back and scan them up. Right, it's time to scan the film. It's all dry. Take a look. Here it is. Let's turn off the lights. And here we go. First frame done. This is so much easier with a copy stand. This is the first time I've ever actually used a copy stand. Yeah, there we go, we're all done. And since the last frame got cut off like I predicted, you can only see, I don't know, like a couple of millimeters on the negative. I'm gonna cut them up and then book them away, stitch them together. So these are panoramics, gotta go use my stitching software. And then finish up this video, see the pictures. I think my camera or my hand must have slipped for this one, because I don't know what this is, and this is not what I was trying to take at all. This is garbage.